Just Connect TV, streaming live. Just Connect TV is your entertainment and educational channel. We broadcast authentic content that will inspire, empower, and stir up the potential and positive energy in you. Just Connect TV, streaming live.
Yesu kasema mimi ni mzabibu wa kweli, naye baba yangu ni mkulima. Tawi lote lizaalo litapaliliwa, lile ambalo halizai litakatwa. Mimi ni mzabibu wa kweli, naye baba yangu ni mkulima. Mimi ni mzabibu wa kweli, naye baba yangu ni mkulima. Kila tawi lisilozaa uliondoa, na kila tawi lizalo ulisafisha. Kila tawi lisilozaa uliondoa, na kila tawi lizalo ulisafisha. Lizae yangu mimi, nami nikae ndani yenu. Kaeni ndani yangu mimi, nami nikae ndani yenu. Na lolote muliombalo mutapokea, kwani bila mimi hamuliwezi kufanya. Na lolote muliombalo mutapokea, kwani bila mimi hamuliwezi kufanya lolote. Kaeni ndani yangu mimi, nami nikae ndani yenu. Kaeni ndani yangu mimi, nami nikae ndani yenu. Na lolote mliombalo mutapokea, hamuliwezi kufanya. Na lolote mliombalo mtapokea, kwani bila mimi hamuliwezi kufanya lolote. Aha! Mwaka wa kuzaa matunda huu, lazima tuzae matunda tupendeze Mungu. Twende! Zaeni matunda mupendeze Bwana.
Get yourself a high-quality branded hoodie, t-shirt, cap, umbrella, you name it, we got it. You order, we deliver. Just Connect. Ever felt the need to learn how to play a musical instrument or improve your music skill and never knew where to go? Just Connect School of Music is the place to be. We offer professional training in music sight reading, piano, drums, guitar, saxophone, bass guitar, and vocal training. We are located at Eprin Square, 3rd floor, room 26, opposite Buruburu Police Station. Just Connect, building worship. Just Connect TV, streaming live.
Hello viewers, this is Just Connect TV, your favorite show, Career Hub, and today we continue with our series where we started last week. We learned more with our educationist, Mary. Karibu sana.
Asante.
You need to introduce yourself in brief.
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Mary Kiguru, and welcome to Career Hub, where we discuss about our role as the people who are actually the children that are getting into the career, but also as teachers and as parents, our role in Career Hub. I'm a learning development expert in the education field, and I'm glad to be here to walk this journey with all of us.
Thank you very much. So I believe our viewers will have a great time as we learn more. Today we are going to look at positive parenting. Probably you can introduce to us what positive parenting is all about.
I'll start with the verse, Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. I think as Christian parents, that's our calling, that we have to train our children in a certain way. And so we are asking ourselves today, what is our role in the whole education sector, and what is our role in determining the careers that our children want, or preparing them for the career that they desire, because eventually they decide what they can be, whether they'll be a doctor, a businessman, a lawyer, etc. But then what is our role, and how would we want them to fit into these particular spaces? So positive parenting is actually how we address and how we play a key role in training our children. And we are going to specifically think about the curriculum-based, the competency-based curriculum that has been implemented in Kenya. For the 21st century, we don't have a choice. We just have to go competency-based because our biggest problem is getting that employment. But how do we prepare our children for that particular space? We are complaining today of the many happenings that are going on in our schools, the kids burning schools. So we want to even stop that, because these people, when they're burning school, they're spoiling their resume for the future job. Yeah, how do we address that as parents? That's our role as parent. As parents, the pandemic also put us in space where we spend so much time with our children. Most of us were confused what to do with our children. How do we train them? How do we keep them engaged? So we don't know about tomorrow. Maybe there'll be another pandemic. Maybe there'll be a situation where we have our children. But even if there's no pandemic, we still have to be with these particular children at home, and assignments are being brought home. And we also want our children to succeed in life.
Exactly.
What is our role as our parents, and how do we make sure that we shape these children for that future?
Exactly.
That's what positive parenting today is all about.
Yeah, because I think we've had situations where once I take my kids to school, it's a responsibility of the teacher to, I've paid fees, so which I think we need to unlearn and probably turn it around. How can a parent turn from that tangent to now what you're describing as
Positive.
to adapt the positive parenting?
You know what we have left, what the teacher does is actually prepare them for the careers they want, right? So the teacher will give them knowledge so that they can become pilots, so that they can become doctors. But that is learning. But when it comes to education, we all have a role to play. Because as a parent, for them to become that good pilot, that good engineer, that good lawyer, that good businessman, then we have to inculcate a value system. This is when now it comes to us as parents. What value system are we inculcating in our children? What are the attitudes and habits of mind we want them to exhibit out there? What kind of a character do you want them to have out there? You want them to be able to defend themselves, to negotiate in that particular space, not to be taken advantage of, and also not to throw tantrums in public, like what they're doing right now with the banning of schools. You don't want your child to do that. You want to inculcate a value system. That means we have to partner with the teachers. Yeah. So the teacher has their role. They're imparting knowledge. They're giving them learning. They come home. They have to exercise what they have learned. And there's that particular role that you have to play in inculcating some certain values in them. Yeah? So that they also know how to socialize themselves when they go to school and interact with other kids. And these are the same things that they will need as they step into their working spaces. Yeah.
So a parent in our generation has a lot of responsibility in terms of the way we bring up our children. And probably just to look, has this been happening in the past probably with our parents and not in the previous generation? Was there something like positive parenting, probably not defined as positive parenting? Was it available then?
It was available there. We were given responsibilities. Like your mother left in the morning and you're left in charge of your siblings. You have to make sure they have eaten, they have done all the other chores. Yeah? So you are responsible. You're taught how to welcome visitors and how to treat visitors. Yeah? So you know how to even make new friends. So you're being taught other skills, socializing, entertaining. There's the respect that you're taught that when an elderly person comes into your space, you give them the seat. Yeah? So, and then there's this responsibility when you leave in the morning. You tell Mina, do ABCD by the time I come back. Yeah? Your siblings are in your hands. You're managing. You've made a manager. So there was already that being inculcated in you. So you learned how to even plan yourself. You learned responsibility. That was the part of positive parenting that we went through. The question is, have we passed that to our children? Yeah? Do we give them responsibilities, or do we employ somebody to make sure that they're made comfortable? So they're not even in charge of their own lives. You decide for them the school they go to. You decide what they will eat. You decide who they will visit, where they will visit. Yeah? And then you give them the freedom with the gadgets. Yeah? What responsibilities do you keep them so that they're in charge of their lives? So we treat them like children. When they go to school, they're treated like children into a system. So when do they learn even to express themselves? Yeah? They have emotions they've never known how to express until they throw a tantrum. They're in the school setup. What tantrum can they throw? They'll burn the dorm. Then you will listen and you'll get to know they need a break. Right? That is the only voice you hear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
So positive parenting has a lot to do with like building those skills of other than the learning process of a career.
Yeah.
So how do we do this now?
Now, that's what we need to be equipped as parents. How do we build the social skills that our kids need?
And probably just to cut you short, sorry, believing that even our parents have these values in the first place.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Our parents, the grandparents to our children, you mean?
I'm imagining the parent of today.
The parents of today. I believe that there's a bigger percentage that we had these values in ourselves, yeah? But we never appreciated them. Okay. So because we didn't appreciate that, we want a comfortable life. We desired a comfortable life. And sometimes I say, like, we look at somebody else and we desire to be that particular person, right? We think that they had a better life. Yeah? So we wanted a better life for our children, and we thought a better life is making everything available for them. So we struggled to go to school. You don't want them to struggle to think about going to school, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
We were given responsibilities in the house that probably we never enjoyed. Yet, those responsibilities made us who we are. In school you learn knowledge, but management is something you learn from home. And you learn by being given responsibility over your siblings and the duties you were given. So you knew how to manage your time. Those are things you took into your workplace. If you're not building the same things with your child now, how are you expecting them to get them out there? When I was going through school, we managed the school. Weekends, the teachers were not available. We were told as prefects and the students agree on a timetable. So we managed the school. We owned the school. We could not ban something we own. Right now, there are workers that work in the school, so you take your children to the schools. They're workers in that particular school. At home, they're comfortable. Then they have no responsibility, they have no ownership. Destroying is easy. You have brought up your child, she throws a tantrum, you give her a sweet, right? So the only way you hear is when she throws a tantrum. So the banning is the tantrum. But
so we need to create, in terms of positive parenting, we need to create platforms where children can be able to express themselves.
Yes.
And probably exercise some of the skills that are necessary for
Give
living.
them responsibility. Let them own the space as much as you own. In your house, let them know that when we eat, we clear the table. When we are at the table, we first pray and interact, and we get to know about each other's day. And then let's get to know about our feelings. How did you feel? Did you get angry during the day? Did something make you happy during the day? What made you happy? What made you angry? Why aren't you talking to me right now? Eating time, let be an interacting time where you're socializing and getting to know the emotional status of your child. Give them responsibility. Let us clear the table. Let's take these things to the kitchen. Let's not bring a servant to do this for us, right? Let's do it, because that time you're connecting with your child by taking that plate to the kitchen, yeah? You're making them feel responsible for something, and they are owning those things in the house. In the school setup, that prefect responsibility and even the duties in the schools gives an ownership of the school, but also give a forum where they are able to express themselves, they are able to talk. Yeah? So just think about, when did you feel like an adult? Yeah? Think of the moment when you felt like an adult. Your child needs to have that particular moment when she feels or he feels he's a small adult by being given a responsibility. And that is the role of the parent. When they're given even this assignment and they come home, for you, it's not to find a solution. Yeah? In a discussion, I discovered sometimes you're told you need to provide a plant. So maybe your best solution, you think, let's go buy a flower. But what if you taught your child, let's plant? Because a plant grows, it's not bought. Because if you buy, then they think things are always bought. Yeah. But by teaching them to grow something, you also trying to train them on patience. That I have to be responsible for that plant. If it has to grow, it needs water. So I have a routine way of doing things and planning things because I want to see the plant. Then I observe. I planted my maize. 3 days it hasn't come out. Right? Probably it was a boiled maize and it is dead. Then they know normally a boiled maize is dead. Yeah? Then I can plant a live maize and within 2 days it has sprouted. And they can observe the plant growing. Yeah? So they get to appreciate the processes and all that. Yeah? So we have a big responsibility. And it's not just good for your child, it's also good for you, because you also relax your mind by training this particular child, by giving them responsibility.
So this one calls for availability of the parent, not just bringing them up and allowing everything to be available for them. And now I can see why probably we were not allowed to have everything we wanted.
Exactly.
Because, sometimes we imagine that if my son or my daughter has everything they need, then I'm the best parent. But that is like a questionable way of bringing up a child. So what you're basically saying is establishing an atmosphere where these kids can get involved with other things other than academic, if I'm getting you right.
Yeah.
Apart from, and also allowing them the responsibility, akikuja na homework sababu hataki ya kusumbue, then you calculate everything for them and give them the answers.
Yeah. It's not just getting away from the academics, it's applying the academics in their living space. Yeah, you align them by talking to them. You align them to exercise English, to practice their communication, expression, negotiation. Yeah, they have to negotiate with you. Say, for example, they need money from you. You don't give them money. You say, by working, you get rewarded for money. So first of all, you're training them that there's always a reward for what you do. So you have to engage and do. Things don't just happen, right? So then you're teaching them how to plan themselves. Yeah. So they're actually practicing what it is that they learned in school.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they learned numeracy. So they ask you for money. They say, I want 200 shillings. You want to know how they're going to use, why they need the 200 shillings. They're breaking it. So they're practicing the numeracy skills, their literacy skills. Yeah. They're practicing how to speak and communicate. So somehow you're learning yourself already to developing the competencies that the CBC has defined. Yeah. So they know how to converse. They know how to socialize with you. They get also to learn your moods. When is it best to ask for ABCD? And when I ask for ABCD, this is the kind of emotion I get from dad. So I know when he's broke. So and then I know when he's rich, and I know when he can be able to do this, and then I know what I can do to actually get certain things from my parents, right? So they're also learning, they're building their emotional intelligence. And they know when I throw a tantrum, hey, I don't get what I want, right?
True.
Yeah, but when I present myself in a certain way, then I'm listened to, and I understand. Then if you don't have what they want, explain to them why you don't have that, yeah, so that they can also be understanding and they can say they have been understood. So you're actually not taking them away from academics. You're learning them what they learned in school, they apply it at home, because the only place where you can get educated is at home.
Exactly.
You get knowledge in school, but when you practice, then you get educated and wise. And that is by what we do with the children at home.
Exactly. Yes, we want to take a short break and then we'll be back. And you have an interesting exercise that she'll take us through regarding positive parenting. This is Just Connect TV, your career hub. You are most welcome to join us in our next session. Thank you.
Just Connect TV, streaming live. Ever felt the need to learn how to play a musical instrument or improve your music skill and never knew where to go? Just Connect School of Music is the place to be. We offer professional training in music sight reading, piano, drums, guitar, saxophone, bass guitar, and vocal training. We are located at Eprin Square, 3rd floor, room 26, opposite Buruburu Police Station. Just Connect, building worship.
Nikufahamu nitembee nawe Jehova.
nilijue pendo lako, wokovu wako, zaidi, zaidi, Baba nikufahamu, nilijue pendo, wokovu wako, zaidi, zaidi, nikufahamu Yesu, nijue pendo lako na wokovu wako kamili.
Get yourself a high quality branded hoodie, t-shirt, cap, umbrellas, you name it, we got it. You order, we deliver. Just Connect. Just Connect TV is your entertainment and educational channel. We broadcast authentic content that will inspire, empower, and stir up the potential and positive energy in you. Just Connect TV, streaming live. Just Connect TV, streaming live.
Welcome back. This is Just Connect TV, your career hub program, where we are looking today at positive parenting with Mary. You had an exercise you had for us as parents. Probably you can take us through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have talked about the role of the parent in developing the kind of a person, like for the career that they want. And we have seen the role of the teacher, they impact learning, and then they come home, they practice what it is that they're learning, so that it makes meaning to them. Now, how do you prepare your child for the future that you want them to have? So our exercise today, I just want you to take a moment and simply dream. Think about what you want to see in your child when they are adults.
When they are adults.
When they are adults, yeah? When you're proud, like now my mother says, I have a teacher, she's ETC, right? What dream do you have for your child? But don't think about them being an engineer, because that's that's the decision they'll make for themselves, right? Think, what character, what kind of a character would you not want your child to have? Take a moment and think about that. What are the attitudes or habits of mind would you want your child to have? What is the value system you want your child to have? Just take a moment and write that down. When they're adults, when they're that doctor, when they're that businessman, what kind of a value system would you want your child to have?
So parents, you can join me as we do this.
Do this. Do this. Just write this down. Take a moment. I'll pause and allow you to simply think of the kind of a value system you want your child to have. You want them to be successful. What would you define that success to be? What is success for you, for your child? I'm hoping that my as a parent are also writing this.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah. What would you define success for your child? That's a dream you have for your child.
Mm-hmm. When you talk about character, what do you mean?
You see, when the character is what really makes a person. That's a person of integrity, right? They're a person who thinks about other people. Yeah. It's a person who takes charge of their own life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and is a responsible person.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of what I imagine about my son and the daughters.
Exactly. And you can think of what you don't want your child to be.
What
the opposite of that.
Okay.
Yeah?
my goodness. How parents, you are doing this, it's very important. Many a times we don't think about it.
Yeah. So just what would you define success for your child? So I'll ask Maina to just share with us.
For me, in terms of character, I would look at my children and feel like I've accomplished in the parenting issue by having respectful children, people who regard others, who have, a positive mindset towards life. Mm-hmm. Like, even when faced with a challenging issue, you're able to turn it around and see it as an opportunity. Mm-hmm. I would hate to see rude kids, like they don't respect anyone, they don't value even the laws of the land, they can do anything. Mm-hmm. I'd also wouldn't like to see people who love shortcuts, like having my kids, they don't like to follow protocol, or they just want, easy things. Mm-hmm. In terms of the attitudes, I hope I haven't mixed it up with the character one.
It's okay.
People who have a hopeful attitude, they believe that tomorrow and today, they can make today a better place, and that whatever they are, whoever they are, they can bring a meaningful change in society. Success, I would consider them living a fulfilled life. Like, they don't feel like they've wasted all their past, like doing things that are not meaningful in their lives. But in the careers they'll pick, and whichever way they chart for their lives, they'll feel fulfilled and they are thriving in it. Not so much about what they will accumulate, but even how they use whatever they get.
Yeah.
I think that is it. The rest I'll be repeating myself.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Those are very critical things that then you have to play a role in building in your child. In today's workspace, we're saying that networking is critical. So making friends is very, very critical. And you want your child to also be able to connect with people. By saying you want them to be respectful, even how they connect with people is, it's how they respect people, how they appreciate other people in life, yeah? So you want them to have those particular skills. You want them to be able to network, to connect, to search for that job, but also to succeed in that job. And we talk about resilience. There are people who are not going to get discouraged, that they're not going to be misinterpreting other people's intentions. Yeah, so they have a very positive attitude. They are reflective people. That whatever they get from other people, then they sit back and ask themselves, why did that person particularly behave the way they behaved? What role did I play in that? Not always about why did they hurt me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, why did they hurt me? Is that what is it in me that evoked that? Yeah, so they are learning very early in life that when I behave like this is the kind of reaction I elicit from the other person. So how do I manage that? So we are saying with the success you have defined for your child, the character you want in your child, yeah, it's all based again on how they relate with other people. So we are saying we want them to have certain skills. We want them to have social skills. We want them to be emotionally intelligent. We want them to be able to cooperate with others, and we want them to be creative. That even when they get out there, they are entrepreneurial in their approach with the skills, with the knowledge they have and the skills they have acquired through the education system. And this is where we play a critical role, particularly in building the social skills of our children. How do they make friends? How do we keep these friendships? How do we manage this friendship? When do we know when to say yes and when it is a no? When we do draw the boundaries? So we have to train them on social skills. Think of some of the successes you've had in making friends, yeah? And think of some of the challenges you've had in making friends and maintaining certain networks. We know to get into the workspace, you have to have very good relationship skills.
Exactly.
And this is what we need to train the children right at home. Mm-hmm. Yeah? So we need to show them, how do I make a friend and how do I manage this friendship? So that I have things both positive and negative peer pressure. How do I manage that and how do I recognize that? Secondly, is building their emotional intelligence. That when this happens, I get angry or I get happy. Yeah? I feel motivated to do something or demotivated to do something. That's how I feel when this happens. And when I do ABCD, this is the reaction I get from mom, from dad, and from people. Yeah? So if I leave my shoe here, mom gets so angry and she will not listen to me. So I have to make sure that my shoe is off so that when she comes in, her first reaction is that your shoe is on the road. So I'm trying to tell her my issues, and she's not listening because she's seeing the shoe. Yeah. So to realize the emotion they elicit in others and how they affect them, because we normally say we are reflectors of what we get from others. So the child to also be able to do that, yeah, to know this is the emotions I feel when this is done, and these are emotions I evoke in others, and this is what I get, and this affects me. So how do I manage that, even as I step out and make new friends? Then I have a personal goal. Teach your children how to set goals, and how to evaluate whether they're achieving these goals. Then they get to realize with whom can I work with to achieve my goal. So how do I cooperate and collaborate with others so that I can achieve my personal goals, but I'm also helping someone else achieve their goal. Yeah? To also realize for you to go so far, you need people. And you need to work with people. So that means the other two skills have to really come in handy. So that even as you're stepping, you see like now in the CBC, they'll have to work with others. They'll have to work in teams because that's what we are expecting the competencies to be. And for you to create a job, to get a job, even if you're a creative person and you're innovating, you need buyers.
Exactly.
You need people who buy into your ideas. So how do you make people buy into your ideas? Yeah? And then finally, we need to develop creativity in our children. Yeah? Even if they're using the gadget at home, get to know how do they use the gadget. Are they developing their research skills? Yeah? If they're networking with their friends in that particular space, with whom are they networking? What information are they getting? How can they use that information for their everyday life at home? Yeah? So are they doing something at home? So if they hate washing dishes, can they come up with an innovative way we don't have dishes, right?
That's interesting.
Yeah, tell them to be innovative, yeah, in the house to make life easier for them because right now they have information. So don't take away the gadget, but can you use that gadget in a positive way to give assignment? Tell them, by they find out how we can produce our own sausage. Then we'll save money and make something else because we are making our own sausage. This is the things we have around us. So find out from internet. So they are going to internet. They are researching on making a certain food they like at home. Right? Because that's the space we are getting into. So teach them creativity. So if they have been given an assignment from school, you're not doing it for them again. Allow them to think through. So what do you think the teacher really wants you to do? Yeah? So can you do it? Because the learning is now learner-centered. So you're a facilitator of the learning. Yeah?
Sorry to competition. I just remember the way we act around our children in terms of, especially things like assignments, where rather than what you're saying about having a creative mind developed in our children, we are like even murmuring as they are complaining about why these teachers allow us to do these things, and sisi tulisoma, why should they take us through, and this is interesting because I'm seeing an opportunity that we have to develop our kids rather than impart probably that negative energy in them so that they even hate what they are supposed to be loving, because education is very important. It opens up somebody's mind. And as you probably take that thought through, what is I'm thinking about exposure. Up to how do you manage exposure of our children to so many things? Like there is a negative part of the society where probably there is drug abuse and all manner of things in the internet that are negative. How do we manage that exposure so that it may be a benefit for these kids?
So, you're looking at, you're having conversation with your children. You're getting to know what they feel are problems in their life and the problem in your own life. So it's really like guiding them on how to solve the problems that are within their own hands, and then guiding them on where to get that and how to get that. Yeah? They don't, every child needs supervision. And we should not abscond our duty as supervisors. We need to know where are they visiting and how do they visit that, yeah? And how do they build them. That's why we're saying you have to also train your child. As you're training for your child, you have to dream with that child. You have the dream when you get that particular child, or when you're planning to get that particular child, you're bringing up another generation. Yeah. So we want to say that we want people who are not corrupt in our society. We want people of integrity. We want people with concern for others. That's the value system we want to build in our children, right? Because that's what we're seeing as the vices here. So we are hoping for that particular future. You see, that future is the children. Whenever we say we don't want corruption, we want people with concern. We are responsible for developing that particular person for the future, and that person is your child.
Exactly.
So they start right from home. So you have the dream of your child. I want my child to be this particular person, and this is what success means for us as a family. That is communicated to the child. Very early, let the child dream also of what they want to be and set the goals. Then set activities. Always get activities with your children that, they're going to school. They don't have so much time for internet because they're in school. But when they're at home, you ask them, so what, they learned something in school, but their personal goal, what have you achieved? Sometimes they tell you the desires they want, like, we don't eat chicken, we don't eat this, I'm not getting this dress. It's all that. You have to be part and parcel of eating the chicken. So what can we do? So we rear chicken. So the chicken need feeding. Yeah? So when you come from school, let's feed the chicken. Then we will be eating to make chicken sausage. So you tell them, can you find out how chicken sausage is made? Yeah, like I learned how to make cheese with little fat during the pandemic, right? Because it cost 500 shilling to get 100 grams, right? Yet when I buy a liter of milk for 60 shillings, I actually have so much cheese that takes me so many days, right? But I found that on internet, yeah? So you guide them on how to use internet to make their lives better. And then by the time they're doing all that, and you're teaching them also how to document. So you're also teaching them how to write and how to think through. I remember, if I give an example of garden, last year, they learned there's a GPS that you can use to monitor things on your garden. So they had so much time trying to look for things to make a GPS. So they spent their whole time making a gadget that they are placing in the garden. In their mind, it's going to help them monitor the garden, right? They had no time to be mischievous apart from breaking your speakers to get the magnet and etc. And then they would use internet to see how you make a GPS. Of course, it was a GPS that had, they did not eventually do the coding, but they knew that this is what you
This
do.
is the requirement.
The requirement, yeah. So we encourage that kind of innovation in the house. That's where you bring in the creativity. If your child is creative, encourage that. Then using that particular guide, by taking them away, you make them curious to actually want to eat. Yeah? But can we teach them to use it positively? But we monitor. Let's put those boundaries, what is it called? The antiviruses and etc. that actually prohibit them from going to certain sites. You have to do that because they might go. But the children are normally very creative. If you guide them on how to search for certain things and the keywords, you'll help them in research. You're developing their research skills very early. You are developing their ability to write and document, to also identify problems that they can solve, but also to define their own path by telling them how to set simple goals. So I want to see a garden grow, or I want to eat chicken. So if I want to eat chicken, then what do I do? So you're inculcating some kind of a value system still, that they're responsible for their own life. And for their own family, because they will not eat the chicken alone. They will provide for everyone else. And they will engage everyone else. So they are networking and they're building all these skills. So the critical skills we have to think about are how we build our social skills for our children, how we build their emotional intelligence. Remember that, as I said, the school plays only 20% of their success.
Yeah.
They give them the knowledge. The education bit comes home. And that's where we're teaching them how to practice what they learned in school. You know, the writing, they learn how to write in school.
Yeah.
They learn how to talk, okay, mostly, to
express
speak English, to
themselves,
express
yeah.
themselves in school. But they practice that and make it a competency at home. And that's why we also train them on emotional intelligence, because they have to relate with others outside. How do they relate? Yeah? So we really take in that verse, Proverbs 22, verse 6. Train up a child the way you want them to be, and they will not deviate from it in future.
I think that is the most profound
Exactly.
interpretation of that scripture, because even the kind of issues we are addressing, we are looking at them from the Christian perspective or a godly perspective, how to be effective parents. Probably as we come to an end, how would you relate positive parenting and CBC? Like, what is the role of CBC in developing our children to become what we want them to be?
Yes, you know, in the 21st century, and that's what we have learned as we have grown up, that we have to create our own jobs. And the 21st century, the world is very dynamic. We have to bring up a child that is flexible. So it's holistic. So right now, there are certain competencies that have to be developed. They're defined activities. But the teacher has to really also be creative in deciding what activities are appropriate and affordable within their context, that develop the same competencies and are even accessible. So the parent comes in to really emphasize that. If by the way the first skills are built at home, you see, like the creativity, when a child is given an assignment to come and work with the parent, it's not you, the parents, to do it, yeah? Find out how you guide your child to do it. And you know, you teach them how to learn, eh? They will not always come to you. They'll come the first few days, then they realize, hey, I can actually investigate, yeah? And find out how to do this particular assignment. They will start questioning even what the teacher is telling them to tell the parents to do. They have to be able to, you have to establish, do they understand what the teacher wanted them to do? But I feel strongly a parent has a very big role to play, to confirm with the school, to get engaged in the school setup when the assignments are brought home. When you're told a child has to go with a plant on Monday, did the teacher teach them how to plant? Yeah? Were they told to plant?
Yeah, true.
Exactly. Maybe your child is the one that didn't understand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? So they say we're told to go with a plant.
So rather than giving them the plant, you need to clarify.
You need to clarify, yeah? You need to clarify with your child. What did the teacher really want you to do? And if the child says you were supposed to come with a plant on Monday, were they told to go and plant and then come with it? Yeah? So you're not buying. The child plants because they need to learn. You know, by planting that plant, it's not just the agriculture bit of planting, it's the patience of watching the plant grow and waiting that it grows. They understand things.
And they have to water it.
They have to water, yeah. And it is a purposed thing. You have to be disciplined to do it. And it's not mom to do it. It is me to do it. So for you, it's to make sure that you remind them and it happens. Yeah? So the role you're playing is not doing for your child. Confirm with the school, what did the teacher really mean by this? And can he be coming home with a written assignment of what they're supposed to do? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to get engaged even with the school so that the teacher takes up also their responsibility clearly. So if they brought plants,
What is the benefit?
what does the child learn?
Yeah.
That plants can be brought to school and they are bought. Yeah? What's the essence of that? You also have to understand what competencies are you developing in that child as a parent. Exactly.
Oh, thank you very much. This is very informative and challenging, especially in a day even where the parent is too busy with life. But I believe it's manageable because we want to have a generation that can be able to stand by themselves and do what is important and transform their society. And that is the whole purpose of this show.
Actually, I even wanted to ask, like now we're complaining about the fires. And I sit back and ask myself, what do the fires mean? Are they communicating something? So when they burn, they're going to go home. You see, it's that child that threw tantrum when they were small. If they threw a tantrum, they got what they wanted. Yeah? Because that's the only way we listen. Yeah? So we are complaining about the fires. And we are blaming the child. And saying this child, mtoto wa Cerelac. But insist to empatia Cerelac.
Yeah.
Right?
You should have mashed potatoes.
Yeah, we should have had mashed potatoes. But let's ask ourselves, what is the child communicating? And why are they communicating through fires? Yeah? What is it that we have done wrong? I ask myself, what is it that I have not done right that my son can burn and have no conscience whatsoever that is wrong? What kind of a value system did I inculcate in that child? And they're stepping out into adulthood. Are they going to be burning things? Are they going to be, for them to be hurt? Is that how they express their emotions? Yeah? What kind of a society are we bringing up?
Thank you so much. It has been an informative, and I would say that we need to consider all these issues. Probably you can replay it once this show is over and think through, meditate upon that which you've been discussing here, because it's pertinent, because we are bringing up a generation that is supposed to manage what we are leaving behind. Thank you so much, Mary. Don't know what is your parting shot for the viewer for this time.
All right. For me, the parting shot is that we have a role to play and to partner with our schools so that we know what role we play in developing the competencies we want to see our children have when they go out there. A competence is not the qualification they get. It's not the learning they get. It's what they can be able to do with what they have learned in school. We are going into a space we don't understand. Things are evolving. How are we preparing our children for that dynamic future? Something that we really don't know, that they're flexible enough without getting stressed out. Are we making them adults and responsible right now so that they are responsible for their own lives and that of their community? Because we have to be patriotic. We have to protect our nation. We have to protect our communities. But are we preparing people who protect their communities? Are we preparing people of integrity with a value system that respects their environment? What role are we playing as parents in that?
Thank you so much. That is Mary. This is Njama Ngugi, your host, and I believe that you will follow us in our next program as we address issues around career development. This is your Career Hub show at Just Connect TV. Bye-bye and have a good time.
Just Connect TV, streaming live. Just Connect TV is your entertainment and educational channel. We broadcast authentic content that will inspire, empower, and stir up the potential and positive energy in you. Just Connect TV, streaming live. Ever felt the need to learn how to play a musical instrument or improve your music skill and never knew where to go? Just Connect School of Music is the place to be. We offer professional training in music sight reading, piano, drums, guitar, saxophone, bass guitar, and vocal training. We are located at Eprin Square, 3rd floor, room 26, opposite Buruburu Police Station. Just Connect, building worship. Just Connect TV, streaming live.